You know, we have a number of different showrooms with salespeople in every one of them. We had a meeting the other day and I happened to come up with what are the most common questions you get asked by people? And invariably, everybody said UL ratings, both fire and burglary. Well, it occurred to me, I'm going to start with fire ratings. I'm very familiar with the UL ratings, the ETL ratings, KIS, JIS. I don't think I've got a KIS or JIS in here, but I can show you the variations on the other and some safes that are awfully good with no particular rating at all. So let me introduce you to a couple. So let's start with this Brownie here. This is a Brownie home safe. It's a slick little guy. It has a good fire rating on here. 120 minutes at 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. It says the inside temperature got up to 275. Well, they're bragging, and I'm sure it will do that because Brownie's the kind of company, if they say it, it's probably true. Normally, it would be, let's say, 1200 degrees for 120 minutes, inside temperature 350. Now, the reason they usually say that is because 350 is the maximum number that they want the inside of that safe to get up to in the time allotted. So we know that that safe stayed below 350 degrees for 2 hours. Now, it just so happens that it stayed at 275, was the highest it got. Well, that's even better, but I'm talking about the standard. It beat the standard. Now, a couple of the reasons is the type of construction. Brownie, they do a fairly tight job of construction. You can't get too tight or the doors jam a little bit when the weather changes. That really is terrible, and it's happened to me a few times. There are several reasons. They use a fireboard, and they use a particularly good fireboard. They have an incandescent seal. Now, this seal expands, I think it's 9 times its original size when it is hot. Now, that helps keep the flames and a lot of the heat transfer it from the outside to the inside. It puts that at a stop, which is really great. Now, this would be considered a great home safe. It has a Underwriters Laboratory burglary. It has a decent fire rating by ETL, if I believe. I think ETL has testing in 14 different countries. They're the largest gun safe fire tester, but they test all kinds of stuff. Let's look at this. This is made by American Security Products. This is the BF Burglary Fire Home Safe. This particular one is the 2116. Those are the inside dimensions, by the way. But you'll notice it has a Underwriters Laboratories RSC Level 1 burglary test, but it also has fire test here. It says fire resistant rating class 350. What that actually means is they put it in an oven at 1800 degrees, and the inside temperature stayed below 350 degrees for an hour. And they have little thermocouples and everything in there that can tell them what it reads. So it's interesting. You can watch the computer lines just inching up little by little, and you're going, we're going to make it, we're going to make it. We did. When they're done with the fire test, they chain it up, they drag it up 28 feet, let go, and they drop it onto rubble to simulate it going through several layers of floors. It's a real drop test. It is deadly serious. It needs to be intact because it's going to be laying in hot embers for maybe a day or two, if the fire department doesn't show up. In addition to that, they put it into what they call an explosives test. They preheat an oven, they throw it in, they throw the safe in the oven, slam the door, turn the heat off, and let the heat sink down. But they're expecting there's a chance it could heat up so fast that it blows the door off. Wouldn't be the first time. It's actually happened several times. Not recently that I know of, but there's a lot to that. So if you have a gas explosion or a fire that happens like a bomb very quickly, it can heat the safe up very fast. Anyway, that's the UL test. Now, this label is a little different. This safe was actually tested by ETL and challenged twice by the competition. But this one has been tested at 1850 degrees for 2 hours. Now, this is not a UL test. This is a factory type test, but they did an excellent job. 2 companies have challenged it. It beat their specifications both times. So it did better than 350 degrees. It didn't get higher than that for 2 hours. So that's a real feat. This is tough. Now, could it pass the UL test? Possibly. But the question is, because of everything it's made out of, could it really drop 28 feet onto concrete and rubble? Most likely. But we can do them in a series. So if you have one safe pass, its sisters and brothers of the same style in different sizes, a lot of times will pass with it. Well, so what happens when you get a big guy like this? Now, this thing weighs just shy of 5,000 pounds. This thing will probably distort and it'll probably go through the floor. So we are very satisfied with what they've done. We're very satisfied with what they've done with the safe. And this thing, I've seen this go through 3-hour fires, and it did a marvelous job. All the gold and silver inside was just as sparkly as the day it was born. And I was very impressed. I've also, a little side note, I've also noticed that safes get hotter, or the rooms get hotter in a fire resistant building. And it's because the walls are like an oven. I saw a safe that didn't even have a fire rating, but it had 1 inch of the same stuff that this has in it all the way around. And the fire captain told me, yeah, that place burned at 2,000 degrees. So he says, that safe is very impressive. And that made me feel good because it didn't even have a rating, but we had been selling it. We felt better after that. Another thing about the fire ratings is that there's so many different kinds. If you get confused, give us a buzz. We'll have our phone number around here somewhere, and we'll be able to answer a few of those questions for you. One of the things I should mention, it can be a great fire safe and at the same time be a mediocre burglary safe. Generally, that's what you find at the chain stores. The people that really don't have safe experiences are selling safes to people that have no safe experience. So they sell a lot of them because when you say, what kind of fire does this have? I don't know. What kind of burglar is that? I don't know. Which one's better? I don't know. So you get a lot of that. Let me show you a pretty good fire safe here. This fire safe is a good little fire safe, but let's look at the construction here. It's very thin metal all the way around. All this is folded over. You see this is all molded. See this little piece here, that's about as thick as the whole safe is. So it offers absolutely no burglary protection. Maybe a little theft resistance, keep your kids out of the pills or out of your stash, or you keep your parents out of your stash. I don't know, whatever that works out to, you know what I mean. But there's no burglar resistance. But look at this, it has a UL fire test. So this thing went through some stuff. I'm hoping it's a 1 hour since I'm bragging on it. Rating class 350, 1 hour. Okay, I thought it said 18, that H was a little fuzzy, but it's 1 hour. Now, that's pretty cool, really. Burglary protection on this is virtually non-existent. So a lot of people, the honest ones, will never say it's burglary proof or even burglar resistant. It's tamper resistant, theft resistant, but it's not burglar anything. You will stand a small chance. I mean, I can open this thing up in a matter of minutes, if not seconds. If I'm a thief, I want to take it, so bolt it down on any safe. That's just rule number 1, bolt the damn safes down. I'm John with Dean Safe Company. We would really appreciate it if you give us some thumbs up and some likes. It helps promote the channel, get this into the hands of other people that can use it. You might want to subscribe. We're going to do a series on some of these safe classifications. And again, if you're confused, call our phone number. You take care. Bye.